Hello and welcome to the official YouTube channel of Triune Biblical University Global Extension, USA, where innovation meets education, and learning knows no boundaries. Whether you're a prospective student, a curious learner, or a proud member of our growing global family, we're thrilled to have you here. To our amazing subscribers, thank you so much for your continued support. Your likes, comments, and shares help us reach more learners and inspire more minds every single day. And if you're new here, welcome aboard. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest lectures, updates, expert insights, campus news, and educational content designed just for you. Now, let's dive into today's topic, one you won't want to miss. Today's topic is advanced developmental psychology. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Class 12 Lecture, Socio-Emotional Development in Adolescence. Introduction to Socio-Emotional Development in Adolescence. Welcome to Class 12 of Advanced Developmental Psychology. Today, we will delve into socio-emotional development during adolescence, a period of life marked by dramatic physical, emotional, social, and cognitive changes. Adolescence is a time when individuals navigate complex emotional experiences and refine their understanding of relationships, self-identity, and emotional regulation. This class will focus on key areas of socio-emotional development during adolescence, including the formation of identity, the influence of peer relationships, emotional regulation, and the role of family dynamics. Adolescence is often described as a critical period in socio-emotional development because it is during this time that individuals begin to solidify their emotional and social foundations, which will influence their future relationships, mental health, and overall well-being. By the end of this lecture, you will have a deeper understanding of the developmental processes that influence emotional regulation, identity formation, and interpersonal relationships during adolescence. 1. The formation of identity. Adolescence is a pivotal time for the formation of identity. According to Erik Erikson, adolescence is characterized by the stage of identity versus role confusion, where individuals begin to explore different aspects of who they are, their values, beliefs, and goals. This exploration often leads to a clearer sense of self, but can also result in role confusion for some adolescents, especially when they face pressure to conform to societal, familial, or peer expectations. Erikson's theory of identity development. Erikson's theory emphasizes the idea that identity is not just about individual self-discovery, but also involves the negotiation of social roles and relationships. Adolescents experiment with different identities and roles to understand who they are and where they fit within society. Crisis and commitment. According to James Marcia, a developmental psychologist who built on Erikson's work, identity development can be understood in terms of crisis, the process of exploration, and commitment, the decisions made after exploration. Marcia identifies 4 identity statuses. Identity achievement. A person has explored different options and committed to a stable identity. Identity moratorium. A person is actively exploring different identities, but is not yet committed to one. Identity foreclosure. A person has committed to an identity without exploring other options, often based on parental or societal expectations. Identity diffusion. A person has neither explored nor committed to an identity, and may feel directionless. B. The role of family and peer influence. While adolescents work to form their own identities, both family and peers play crucial roles in this process. Family members, particularly parents, influence adolescents' values, beliefs, and personal goals. Peer groups become increasingly important as adolescents seek to define themselves in relation to their social circles. In many cases, adolescents explore different aspects of their identity within their peer groups, testing out different roles and behaviors. The balance between the desire for independence and the need for family support is an important dynamic in identity formation. Healthy family dynamics, where adolescents feel both supported and encouraged to explore their interests, contribute to more successful identity development. 2. Peer relationships and social identity. Adolescence is a time of intense social change, with peer relationships becoming a central focus. Peer influence can be both positive and negative, depending on the nature of the peer group and the values they endorse. The importance of peer groups. Adolescents typically spend more time with their peers than with their families, and peer groups become important sources of emotional support, social learning, and identity exploration. Peer groups can be organized by various factors, including interests, social status, and shared experiences. These groups provide a safe space for adolescents to explore social roles, try out behaviors, and establish their own norms. However, peer pressure can also play a negative role, particularly when adolescents are influenced by peers who engage in risky or unhealthy behaviors, such as substance use, bullying, or antisocial actions. Peer pressure can be strong during adolescence, and adolescents may sometimes prioritize group acceptance over their individual values or well-being. B. The development of social identity. Social identity, or the sense of belonging to a particular social group, is another key component of socio-emotional development in adolescence. Henry Tajfel and John Turner's social identity theory suggests that individuals derive a sense of self from their membership in various social groups. Adolescents begin to define themselves not just by personal characteristics, but also in relation to social categories, such as gender, ethnicity, religion, and peer group affiliation. For many adolescents, social identity is intricately linked to their peer group affiliations. The desire to fit in and be accepted within a particular social group can drive adolescents to adopt the group's values, beliefs, and behaviors. In turn, social identity development can influence adolescents' choices in friendship dynamics, romantic relationships, and academic pursuits. 3. Emotional regulation and self-understanding. Adolescence is a period of intense emotional experiences, and emotional regulation becomes an essential skill to manage these emotions effectively. The ability to regulate emotions is crucial for mental health, social relationships, and overall well-being. Emotional intensity in adolescence. Adolescents experience heightened emotional intensity due to changes in the brain, particularly in areas involved in emotional processing, such as the limbic system. This is compounded by pubertal changes, which influence mood and emotional responses. As a result, adolescents can experience mood swings, increased sensitivity to stress, and greater emotional vulnerability. At the same time, adolescents develop a greater ability to understand and articulate their emotions, leading to increased emotional awareness. This emotional awareness can help them regulate their feelings more effectively, though the process of emotional self-regulation continues to develop throughout adolescence. B. The role of parents in emotional regulation. Parents continue to play an important role in emotion socialization during adolescence. Adolescents often turn to parents for emotional support, but the quality of the parent-adolescent relationship, whether it's warm and supportive or conflict-ridden, can significantly affect emotional regulation. Adolescents who experience parental warmth and consistent emotional support tend to develop better coping strategies and higher emotional resilience. See self-concept and self-esteem. As adolescents strive to form their identities, they also become more self-aware, leading to changes in their self-concept and self-esteem. Self-concept refers to the way adolescents perceive their own identity, while self-esteem refers to their overall sense of worth. Adolescent self-esteem can fluctuate depending on their social experiences, academic performance, and relationships. Positive self-esteem tends to correlate with emotional stability and resilience, while low self-esteem can contribute to mental health issues, such as depression and anxiety. Encouraging adolescents to develop a positive self-concept, based on their strengths and values, is a crucial task for caregivers and educators. 4. Family dynamics and parental influence. While peer relationships become more important during adolescence, family dynamics continue to influence socio-emotional development. Parents remain key figures in adolescents' emotional lives, even as adolescents strive for greater independence. Autonomy and independence. As adolescents seek more autonomy, tensions may arise between them and their parents. The quest for independence is a natural part of development, and it is essential for adolescents to test their abilities and make their own decisions. However, the way parents respond to this quest for independence can have a significant impact on emotional well-being. Authoritative parenting, characterized by both warmth and structure, is associated with healthy emotional development during adolescence. Adolescents who feel supported by their parents, while also given room to explore their independence, tend to have better mental health outcomes. In contrast, authoritarian parenting, high control, low warmth or permissive parenting. Low control, high warmth, can lead to difficulties with emotional regulation, identity confusion, and conflict in relationships. B. Sibling relationships. Siblings also play a role in socio-emotional development during adolescence. While siblings may experience rivalry, they also provide emotional support, companionship, and opportunities for conflict resolution. Sibling relationships can serve as important models for how adolescents interact with their peers and form friendships. Conclusion and reflection. To conclude, today's lecture emphasized the significance of socio-emotional development during adolescence. Key takeaways include: adolescents undergo significant identity exploration and development, influenced by family, peer relationships, and societal expectations. Peer relationships play a central role in social identity formation, but can also introduce risks through peer pressure. The ability to regulate emotions is crucial for adolescents, as they navigate emotional changes and increasingly complex social dynamics. Family dynamics remain influential in adolescence, particularly in terms of emotional support, autonomy, and conflict resolution. In our next class, we will continue our discussion of emotional regulation and explore the development of empathy and moral emotions. For now, reflect on how the various socio-emotional factors we've discussed today impact the adolescence of individuals you know, and be ready to share your thoughts in the next lecture. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to our continued discussion in the next class. End of Class 12. Class 13 Lecture: Cognitive Development in Adolescence and Emerging Adulthood. Introduction to Cognitive Development in Adolescence and Emerging Adulthood. Welcome to Class 13 of Advanced Developmental Psychology. Today, we will explore cognitive development during adolescence and emerging adulthood, two critical developmental stages where individuals experience significant transformations in their thinking, reasoning, and decision-making processes. Cognitive development during these years is shaped by various factors, including brain maturation, environmental influences, and societal expectations. Our primary focus in this lecture will be on how adolescents transition from concrete operational thinking to formal operational thinking (Piaget stages), as well as the emergence of more complex cognitive abilities in early adulthood. We will also delve into key theories and concepts related to cognitive maturation, including post-formal thought and the role of education and culture in shaping cognitive outcomes. By the end of this lecture, you will understand the cognitive milestones during adolescence and emerging adulthood, the shifts in thinking and reasoning that occur, and how these changes impact decision-making, moral reasoning, and identity formation. 1. Cognitive transitions in adolescence. Adolescence is a period of substantial cognitive growth, during which individuals move from the concrete operational stage, characterized by logical thinking, limited to tangible objects and events, to the formal operational stage, characterized by abstract, hypothetical, and deductive reasoning. These shifts in cognitive abilities are critical for adolescents, as they develop the capacity to handle increasingly complex intellectual tasks. A formal operational thought, Piaget. According to Jean Piaget, the transition to the formal operational stage is marked by the ability to think abstractly and hypothetically. Adolescents can now engage in hypothetical deductive reasoning, which involves considering multiple possible outcomes and systematically testing solutions to problems. They are capable of thinking about hypothetical scenarios, abstract concepts, like justice, morality, or freedom, and possibilities beyond their immediate experience. For example, an adolescent might engage in discussions about political systems, social justice, or the ethical implications of scientific advancements. They are also able to reflect on their own thoughts and consider metacognitive possibilities, such as asking, "What if this were different?" Or "How might this situation evolve?" B. The impact of brain development. Recent research in neurodevelopment supports Piaget's theory by highlighting the ongoing development of brain regions that support complex cognitive processes, such as the prefrontal cortex. This area of the brain, which governs functions like decision-making, problem-solving, and planning, continues to mature well into the mid-20s, explaining why cognitive abilities are not fully developed during early adolescence, but improve over time. This development explains why adolescents might possess the capacity for abstract reasoning, but struggle with impulse control, long-term planning, and consistent judgment. As the brain matures, these abilities gradually improve, contributing to the cognitive growth experienced during emerging adulthood. 2. Post-formal thought in emerging adulthood. While Piaget's formal operations provide a useful framework for understanding cognitive development in adolescence, scholars like John W. Keegan and William Perry extended Piaget's work by proposing that cognitive development continues to evolve into emerging adulthood and beyond. They suggest that cognitive development does not end with formal operational thought, but progresses into post-formal thinking, which reflects the complexities and ambiguities of adult life. Post-formal thought. Post-formal thought is a more complex mode of thinking that emerges during late adolescence and early adulthood. Unlike formal operational thought, which is more logical and absolute, post-formal thinking is characterized by relativism, the recognition that there are often multiple perspectives and that truth can vary depending on context. For instance, emerging adults may begin to appreciate that moral and ethical decisions are subjective and influenced by cultural, social, and personal factors. Dialectical thinking, the ability to understand contradictions and integrate multiple viewpoints. Individuals who engage in dialectical thinking are able to accept that reality is often a blend of opposing forces, and can balance these contradictions. Pragmatism, the tendency to focus on the practical consequences of decisions. As emerging adults transition into the workforce and establish independent lives, their thinking becomes more grounded in the practicalities of real-life decisions and everyday problems. Emerging adulthood and cognitive maturation. The period of emerging adulthood, roughly ages 18 to 25, is marked by cognitive growth, as young adults navigate challenges related to identity, relationships, education, and career development. During this period, individuals are often exposed to new ideas, worldviews, and experiences that challenge and refine their thinking. Emerging adults develop more advanced problem-solving skills and become better at handling ambiguity. The theory of emerging adulthood proposed by Jeffrey Arnett suggests that this phase allows individuals to explore various aspects of their life in a relatively supportive and protected environment as they transition toward greater independence. 3. Moral reasoning and cognitive development. Another area of cognitive development in adolescence and emerging adulthood is moral reasoning, the process by which individuals decide what is right or wrong and why. Kohlberg stages of moral development. Lawrence Kohlberg expanded upon Piaget's ideas by proposing a theory of moral development based on stages. Kohlberg suggested that moral reasoning develops through 3 levels. 1. Preconventional level. Morality is determined by external rewards and punishments. Adolescents at this level often follow rules to avoid punishment or gain rewards. 2. Conventional level. Morality is determined by social expectations, rules, and the desire to gain approval from others. Adolescents and emerging adults begin to value relationships, social order, and maintaining harmony. 3. Post-conventional level. Morality is based on abstract principles such as justice, equality, and respect for human dignity. Few individuals reach this stage, but those who do are capable of questioning authority and making moral judgments based on universal ethical principles. As adolescents move through these stages, they increasingly understand the complexities of moral dilemmas and begin to think about ethics in more abstract terms. In emerging adulthood, this moral reasoning often becomes more complex, as individuals take on the responsibility of making decisions that impact both themselves and society. 4. Cognitive development in education and emerging adulthood. One of the most important contexts for cognitive development in adolescence and emerging adulthood is education. Adolescents and young adults are often involved in higher education, which provides opportunities to develop advanced cognitive skills, such as critical thinking, problem-solving, and abstract reasoning. Cognitive skills in education. In educational settings, adolescents begin to engage in metacognition, or thinking about their own thinking. This allows them to reflect on their learning strategies and adjust them for better outcomes. During emerging adulthood, many individuals further refine their ability to learn independently and critically evaluate information. Education also helps individuals develop specialized knowledge and intellectual expertise in particular subjects. The cognitive abilities that emerge in adolescence, such as the ability to reason abstractly, are vital for success in more complex academic disciplines, such as science, philosophy, and the humanities. humanities. B. Influence of culture and socioeconomic status. Cognitive development in adolescence and emerging adulthood is heavily influenced by culture, socioeconomic status, and family background. Different cultural contexts provide varying opportunities for cognitive growth, and socioeconomic factors often shape the educational experiences and resources available to adolescents and young adults. For example, children from higher socioeconomic backgrounds may have greater access to educational resources, extracurricular activities, and exposure to diverse worldviews, which can accelerate cognitive and moral development. Conversely, adolescents from lower socioeconomic backgrounds may face challenges such as limited access to quality education or fewer opportunities for intellectual growth. 5. Cognitive development and decision-making. As adolescents and emerging adults develop cognitively, they also refine their decision-making skills. Cognitive maturation allows individuals to weigh risks and rewards, think critically about consequences, and make decisions that align with their goals and values. A. Risk-taking and impulsivity. Despite advances in cognitive development, adolescents often exhibit heightened risk-taking behaviors. This phenomenon can be attributed to the ongoing development of the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for impulse control, planning, and long-term decision-making. The limbic system, involved in processing emotions and rewards, is more developed during adolescence than the prefrontal cortex, which may explain why adolescents sometimes engage in risky behaviors without fully considering the consequences. As individuals transition into emerging adulthood, their decision-making tends to become more measured as the prefrontal cortex matures, and they gain more life experience. Conclusion and reflection. To summarize, today's class focused on the cognitive development that occurs during adolescence and emerging adulthood. Key takeaways include: adolescents transition from concrete operational thinking to formal operational thinking, allowing them to engage in abstract reasoning and hypothetical deductive thinking. The development of post-formal thought during emerging adulthood allows for greater flexibility, complexity, and pragmatism in decision-making. Moral reasoning becomes more sophisticated, moving from external rewards and social norms to universal ethical principles. Education plays a crucial role in cognitive development during adolescence and emerging adulthood, as it helps refine critical thinking and specialized knowledge. Cultural influences and socioeconomic status significantly impact cognitive development and decision-making abilities. In the next class, we will explore how cognitive development during these periods impacts self-regulation and goal setting, which are crucial for achieving long-term success in personal and professional realms. For now, consider how cognitive maturation has shaped your own thinking and decision-making throughout adolescence and early adulthood. End of Class 13. Class 14 Lecture: Cognitive Development in Adulthood, Middle and Late Adulthood. Introduction to Cognitive Development in Middle and Late Adulthood. Welcome to Class 14 of Advanced Developmental Psychology. In today's lecture, we will explore cognitive development during middle adulthood, approximately 40 to 65 years, and late adulthood, 65 years and beyond. These stages are often associated with both declines in certain cognitive abilities and continued development in others. Understanding these patterns is crucial for addressing issues related to aging, memory, decision-making, problem-solving, and intelligence in adulthood. Our primary focus will be on the following areas: cognitive aging, understanding the changes in cognitive functioning during middle and late adulthood, including both the declines and the areas where development continues. Fluid and crystallized intelligence, the distinction between these two types of intelligence and how they evolve across the lifespan. Memory changes, exploring how memory, especially working memory and episodic memory, changes with age. Expertise in problem solving, examining how older adults may retain or even increase problem-solving abilities and expertise in specific domains. Factors influencing cognitive aging, understanding the role of lifestyle, health, and education in cognitive outcomes in later life. By the end of this lecture, you will have a comprehensive understanding of how cognition evolves in adulthood and how both environmental and biological factors contribute to these changes. 1. Cognitive aging. Overview. Cognitive aging refers to the natural changes in cognitive functioning that occur as individuals move through middle adulthood and into late adulthood. These changes are influenced by biological, psychological, and social factors. A general cognitive decline. While the nature and extent of cognitive decline vary from person to person, there are some common trends observed in older adults. These include slower processing speed. As people age, they often experience slower reaction times and processing speeds. Tasks that require quick decision-making may take longer, and there may be a noticeable delay in retrieving information from memory. Decline in working memory. Working memory, which is the ability to hold and manipulate information over short periods, tends to decline with age. Older adults may struggle to keep multiple pieces of information in mind simultaneously or remember short-term details. Decreased fluid intelligence. Fluid intelligence, which refers to the capacity for abstract reasoning, problem-solving, and adapting to novel situations, tends to decline as individuals age. This is often attributed to the biological changes in the brain, particularly in areas involved in processing new information and reasoning. B. Positive aspects of cognitive aging. While some cognitive abilities decline with age, research also highlights compensatory mechanisms that can help older adults maintain cognitive functioning. Crystallized intelligence. Unlike fluid intelligence, crystallized intelligence refers to knowledge that is accumulated over a lifetime, such as vocabulary, general knowledge, and expertise. This type of intelligence generally remains stable or even improves throughout middle and late adulthood. In fact, older adults often have extensive expertise in areas such as their profession, hobbies, or life experiences. Greater life experience. Older adults may rely more on their accumulated knowledge and experience, which allows them to make effective decisions and solve problems, despite declines in some cognitive abilities. Compensatory strategies. As they age, individuals may develop strategies to compensate for declines in cognitive functioning, such as relying on external memory aids or collaborating with others to solve complex problems. 2. Fluid and crystallized intelligence. The concept of fluid versus crystallized intelligence is central to understanding cognitive aging. These two forms of intelligence, as described by Raymond Cattell, evolve differently across the lifespan. A. Fluid intelligence. Fluid intelligence involves the ability to reason abstractly, think logically, and solve novel problems independent of acquired knowledge. It typically peaks in early adulthood and starts to decline gradually after middle adulthood. Factors contributing to the decline in fluid intelligence include neurological changes. The aging process leads to gradual shrinkage in brain regions associated with processing new information, such as the prefrontal cortex. Slower processing speed. The cognitive processing speed in older adults is often slower, affecting their ability to handle complex tasks that require rapid reasoning or adapting to novel situations. Despite these declines, research suggests that fluid intelligence is not lost entirely. Many older adults compensate for the decline by relying on crystallized intelligence and strategies developed over time. B. Crystallized intelligence. Crystallized intelligence involves knowledge and skills that are accumulated over time through experience, education, and practice. This includes vocabulary, general knowledge, and expertise in specific domains. Crystallized intelligence tends to increase with age as individuals acquire more knowledge and refine their skills. Older adults often excel in areas such as verbal skills. Due to the accumulation of knowledge, older adults tend to have a larger vocabulary and better verbal fluency. Problem-solving in familiar domains. Expertise developed over time allows older adults to solve problems quickly and effectively, especially in areas they have worked in or practiced extensively. Thus, while fluid intelligence may decline, crystallized intelligence often compensates, allowing older adults to maintain or even enhance their intellectual capabilities in specific areas. 3. Memory and aging. Memory changes are one of the most prominent aspects of cognitive aging. While all types of memory can be affected by age, some are more prone to decline than others. A. Working memory. As mentioned earlier, working memory declines with age. Working memory involves holding and manipulating information in the mind over short periods, such as remembering a phone number long enough to dial it. This decline can impact various tasks, including problem solving, multitasking, and following complex instructions. However, older adults can compensate for working memory decline by using memory aids, such as writing things down or using technology. B. Episodic memory. Episodic memory, or the ability to recall specific events or experiences from one's life, also tends to decline with age. Older adults may have difficulty recalling recent events or specific details from their past. This decline is particularly noticeable in tasks that require source memory or remembering where or when information was learned. However, semantic memory, which involves general knowledge and facts, tends to remain relatively intact. For example, older adults may still perform well on trivia questions or tasks requiring factual knowledge. See autobiographical memory. Interestingly, some research suggests that autobiographical memories of personal experiences and events tends to remain intact in older adults, particularly when those memories are emotionally significant. Older adults often have vivid recollections of important life events, such as their childhood, major life milestones, or personal achievements. 4. Expertise in problem solving in adulthood. While many cognitive functions decline in middle and late adulthood, older adults often exhibit expertise in problem solving abilities that allow them to compensate for other declines. Expertise. As individuals age, they accumulate specialized knowledge in areas such as their profession, hobbies, or personal interests. This expertise allows older adults to approach problems more efficiently and effectively within their areas of specialization. The depth of experience means that older adults often have well-established routines and strategies that help them solve problems more quickly than younger adults in similar domains. Problem-solving strategies. Older adults may also rely on a combination of experience and adaptive strategies when confronted with novel or complex problems. They may use heuristic approaches, mental shortcuts based on past experiences to arrive at solutions more efficiently. This ability to use strategies to overcome challenges is a key aspect of successful aging. Older adults often excel at solving problems that require practical knowledge or everyday reasoning, particularly when it involves their social or occupational expertise. However, they may struggle more with problems that require abstract thinking or that are unrelated to their prior experiences. 5. Factors influencing cognitive aging. Several factors influence the rate and extent of cognitive aging, including health and lifestyle. Physical exercise has been shown to have a protective effect on cognitive functioning, reducing the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. Mental exercise and engaging in challenging cognitive activities, such as reading, learning new skills, or playing cognitive games, can help maintain cognitive function. Diet and sleep also play critical roles in maintaining brain health, with poor nutrition or insufficient sleep contributing to cognitive deterioration. Education and socioeconomic status. Higher levels of education and socioeconomic status are associated with better cognitive outcomes in late adulthood. Individuals with higher levels of education tend to show slower rates of cognitive decline and have better cognitive reserve, the brain's ability to compensate for damage. See social engagement. Maintaining strong social connections and participating in social activities can help protect against cognitive decline. Social interactions stimulate the brain and promote cognitive health by providing opportunities for mental and emotional engagement. Conclusion and reflection. To summarize, cognitive development during middle and late adulthood involves both declines and gains. Fluid intelligence tends to decline, while crystallized intelligence remains stable or increases. Memory changes, particularly in working memory and episodic memory, are common, though semantic memory and autobiographical memory may remain intact. Expertise and problem-solving abilities often remain strong, and older adults can compensate for cognitive declines through adaptive strategies. Factors such as health, lifestyle, education, and social engagement can significantly influence cognitive outcomes in later life. In the next class, we will explore the socio-emotional development that accompanies cognitive changes in middle and late adulthood, including the role of emotional regulation, relationships, and identity in later life. End of Class 14. Class 15 Lecture, Socio-Emotional Development in Middle and Late Adulthood. Introduction. Welcome to Class 15 of Advanced Developmental Psychology. In today's lecture, we will explore socio-emotional development during middle adulthood, approximately 40 to 65 years, and late adulthood, 65 years and beyond. As individuals age, their emotional experiences, relationships, and overall social functioning undergo significant changes. These socio-emotional changes are intertwined with cognitive aging processes, health, and social context, and they play a crucial role in determining overall well-being during these stages of life. We will cover the following topics: emotional regulation and how it changes across the adult lifespan, Erik Erikson's psychosocial stages of development as they apply to middle and late adulthood, particularly focusing on generativity versus stagnation and integrity versus despair. Social relationships in later life, including marriage, friendship, and family dynamics. The role of life satisfaction and the concept of successful aging, coping strategies and how individuals adapt emotionally to the challenges of aging. By the end of this lecture, you will have a comprehensive understanding of the emotional and social changes that occur as individuals move through middle and late adulthood, as well as the psychological and social factors that influence well-being in these stages. 1. Emotional regulation in middle and late adulthood. Emotional regulation refers to the ability to manage and respond to emotional experiences in a healthy and adaptive way. As individuals age, there are distinct changes in how emotions are processed and regulated. Interestingly, many older adults report experiencing greater emotional well-being compared to their younger counterparts. Changes in emotional regulation. Better emotional control. Older adults often demonstrate improved emotional regulation compared to younger adults. This is due to greater emotional experience, wisdom, and coping strategies developed over the course of life. Older adults tend to have better emotion-focused coping and are more likely to approach difficult emotions with a sense of acceptance and understanding. Positive emotional experiences. Research has shown that, while older adults experience negative emotions, they report more frequent positive emotions and an overall positivity effect. They are better able to savor positive experiences and less likely to dwell on negative ones. This shift is thought to be a result of the selective optimization with compensation model, where individuals prioritize emotionally rewarding experiences as they age and focus on maintaining a sense of happiness and peace. Reduced reactivity to negative stimuli. Older adults tend to have a lower emotional reactivity to stressful situations, which is likely due to accumulated life experiences and the development of better coping mechanisms. This decrease in emotional reactivity helps reduce the intensity of negative emotions like anger, sadness, and anxiety. Emotion regulation strategies. Older adults are more likely to use adaptive emotion regulation strategies such as reappraisal, changing the way one thinks about a situation to alter its emotional impact, e.g., seeing a challenging situation as an opportunity for growth. Disengagement, avoiding or distancing oneself from stressful situations that are deemed unchangeable or unnecessary. Social sharing, talking about emotions with trusted individuals to gain emotional support and understanding. 2. Erik Erikson's psychosocial stages. Middle and late adulthood. Erik Erikson's psychosocial theory of development outlines 8 stages across the lifespan, each characterized by a central conflict. In the stages of middle adulthood and late adulthood, the key psychosocial conflicts are generativity versus stagnation and integrity versus despair. Generativity versus stagnation, middle adulthood. In middle adulthood, individuals face the conflict between generativity, the desire to contribute to the well-being of future generations, and stagnation, where a person may feel disconnected from the world or disengaged from societal contributions. Generativity is often expressed through activities such as raising children, mentoring younger individuals, contributing to the community, or engaging in work that benefits society. The positive resolution of this conflict leads to a sense of fulfillment and purpose in life. Stagnation occurs when individuals feel a lack of purpose or contribution, leading to feelings of self-absorption and a diminished sense of vitality. This conflict is often resolved through the pursuit of activities that contribute to a broader sense of meaning, such as volunteering or engaging in creative or professional endeavors. Integrity versus despair. Late adulthood. In late adulthood, individuals confront the challenge of integrity versus despair. Integrity refers to a sense of wholeness and satisfaction with life, while despair represents regret, bitterness, and a sense of wasted opportunities. Integrity involves reflecting on one's life with a sense of acceptance, acknowledging both successes and failures, and feeling at peace with one's choices. People who resolve this conflict positively often experience life satisfaction and feel that their lives have had meaning. Despair, on the other hand, occurs when individuals reflect on their lives with a sense of regret, disappointment, or a feeling that their life lacked purpose. This can lead to feelings of hopelessness or anxiety about mortality. Successful resolution of this conflict typically involves the ability to view one's life in a coherent and meaningful way, and to accept the inevitability of death with a sense of calm. 3. Social relationships in middle and late adulthood. Social relationships are integral to emotional well-being throughout the lifespan, and they become particularly important in middle and late adulthood, as individuals transition through different life stages. Marriage and intimate relationships. Marriage and intimate relationships can play a significant role in emotional well-being during middle and late adulthood. Marital satisfaction. Research shows that marital satisfaction tends to increase in late adulthood, as couples may experience more leisure time together, fewer role conflicts, such as balancing work and family, and an increase in emotional intimacy. Widowhood. The loss of a spouse is a major life event that can trigger significant emotional challenges, including grief and loneliness. However, many individuals successfully adjust to widowhood by seeking social support, engaging in meaningful activities, and maintaining relationships with family and friends. Friendships. Friendships become increasingly important in later life. Older adults often place a high value on close, emotionally supportive friendships, which can provide companionship, emotional support, and a sense of belonging. Social networks. While the size of an individual's social network may shrink as they age, the quality of relationships tends to improve. Older adults may focus more on relationships that provide emotional satisfaction, and less on social obligations. Social support. Having a reliable network of friends and family is a protective factor against emotional distress, and can help older adults cope with the challenges of aging. See family relationships. Family relationships continue to evolve throughout adulthood. In middle and late adulthood, adults often take on new roles, such as being grandparents or caregivers for aging parents. Grandparenting. Grandparents often report high levels of satisfaction and fulfillment in their relationships with grandchildren. These relationships can provide emotional support, offer opportunities for generativity, and help older adults feel connected to younger generations. Caregiving. Many adults in middle and late adulthood become caregivers for aging parents or spouses. While caregiving can provide a sense of purpose, it can also lead to stress and burnout. Therefore, it is important to have adequate social support and resources to manage caregiving responsibilities. 4. Life satisfaction and successful aging. Life satisfaction and successful aging are central concepts in understanding the socio-emotional experience of later adulthood. Life satisfaction. Life satisfaction refers to an individual's overall sense of well-being and contentment with their life. Research suggests that life satisfaction tends to remain relatively stable or even increase in late adulthood, despite the physical and cognitive challenges that may arise. Factors contributing to life satisfaction include good health, financial stability, positive relationships, and engagement in meaningful activities. Perception of aging. Older adults who view aging as a positive experience and who have a sense of control over their lives tend to report higher life satisfaction. Successful aging. The concept of successful aging refers to the ability to adapt to the challenges of aging while maintaining a sense of well-being, physical health, and social engagement. Active engagement. Successful aging is often associated with remaining active in social, physical, and intellectual pursuits. People who remain engaged with their communities and maintain social connections tend to experience better outcomes in terms of emotional and physical health. Resilience. Older adults who demonstrate resilience in the face of life's challenges, whether related to health, loss, or changes in roles, tend to have better mental health outcomes and greater life satisfaction. Conclusion and reflection. To summarize, socio-emotional development in middle and late adulthood involves complex changes in emotional regulation, relationships, and life satisfaction. Emotional regulation improves as older adults tend to manage their emotions more effectively and experience greater emotional well-being. Erickson's stages of generativity versus stagnation and integrity versus despair highlight the psychological challenges of middle and late adulthood, with successful resolution leading to a sense of fulfillment and life satisfaction. Social relationships, including marriage, friendships, and family ties, remain central to emotional well-being, with older adults often placing a higher value on quality rather than quantity in their social networks. Successful aging is characterized by emotional resilience, active engagement, and a positive outlook on life. In the next class, we will explore the challenges of aging, particularly focusing on physical and cognitive changes, as well as the implications for mental health and well-being. End of Class 15. Class 16 Lecture: Challenges of Aging, Physical, Cognitive, and Mental Health Changes. Introduction. Welcome to Class 16 of Advanced Developmental Psychology. In today's lecture, we will examine some of the challenges of aging that individuals face as they enter late adulthood, typically 65 years and beyond. This class will focus on the physical, cognitive, and mental health changes that accompany aging, as well as the impact these changes can have on overall well-being. We will explore the following key topics. 1. Physical changes in aging. The process of biological aging and its effects on the body. Common age-related diseases and conditions, such as arthritis, osteoporosis, and cardiovascular diseases. 2. Cognitive decline and maintenance. Understanding cognitive aging, including memory changes and slowing processing speed. The difference between normal aging and cognitive disorders like Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Strategies for maintaining cognitive function in late adulthood. 3. Mental health and emotional challenges in aging. The prevalence of mental health issues like depression and anxiety in older adults. The impact of social isolation and grief on mental health. Coping mechanisms and interventions to support mental health in later life. By the end of this lecture, you should have a deeper understanding of the physical and cognitive challenges that come with aging, as well as the mental health concerns that are important to consider when working with older adults. 1. Physical changes in aging. As individuals age, the body undergoes numerous biological and physical changes. While some of these changes are inevitable, others are influenced by lifestyle, genetics, and environmental factors. Understanding these changes is critical to promoting healthier aging. Age-related physical decline. Skeletal system. As we age, bones become less dense, and the risk for fractures and osteoporosis increases. This decline in bone density can also lead to joint problems such as arthritis. Muscle mass and strength. Muscle mass typically decreases in older adulthood, a condition known as sarcopenia. This loss of muscle mass leads to a decrease in strength, mobility, and overall functional independence. Cardiovascular system. Aging often results in changes to the cardiovascular system, such as a decrease in heart rate variability and arterial stiffness. These changes increase the risk for heart disease and hypertension, high blood pressure. Respiratory system. The lungs lose some of their elasticity, which can result in reduced lung capacity and a slower oxygen intake. This can make physical activities more taxing for older adults. Sensory changes. Vision and hearing often decline with age. Older adults may experience presbyopia, difficulty focusing on nearby objects, and presbycusis, age-related hearing loss. Taste and smell can also diminish, affecting the quality of life and nutrition. Common age-related conditions. Osteoarthritis. This is the most common form of arthritis in older adults, causing pain, swelling, and stiffness in the joints. It is most often seen in weight-bearing joints like the knees, hips, and spine. Osteoporosis. The thinning of bones that makes them more susceptible to fractures. It is particularly common in postmenopausal women due to decreased levels of estrogen. Cardiovascular diseases. As mentioned, age increases the likelihood of heart disease, stroke, and hypertension. Factors such as lifestyle, e.g., diet, physical activity, and genetics, also play a role in these diseases. Type 2 diabetes. Although not solely a condition of aging, the incidence of diabetes increases with age. Insulin sensitivity often decreases with age, making it harder for the body to regulate blood sugar. See strategies for mitigating physical decline. While aging is inevitable, many of the effects of physical decline can be mitigated or delayed through regular exercise. Weight-bearing exercises such as walking, strength training, and swimming help to maintain bone density, muscle mass, and cardiovascular health. Healthy nutrition. A balanced diet rich in calcium, vitamin D, and antioxidants can help maintain bone health and reduce the risks of chronic diseases. Adequate sleep. Sleep is essential for recovery, immune function, and cognitive health. Many older adults experience sleep disturbances, so creating a sleep-friendly environment is crucial. Health screenings. Regular medical checkups can help detect age-related conditions early, allowing for more effective management. 2. Cognitive aging and cognitive disorders. Cognitive changes are a significant part of the aging process. These changes may manifest as gradual declines in memory processing speed and executive functioning. However, it is important to distinguish between normal cognitive aging and more serious cognitive disorders like dementia and Alzheimer's disease. A cognitive decline in normal aging. Memory. Older adults often experience changes in memory, particularly episodic memory, memory of events and experiences. Short-term memory may be affected, and recalling names or details may take longer. However, semantic memory, general knowledge, and procedural memory, how to perform tasks, tend to remain stable. Processing speed. Aging often leads to a slowing of cognitive processing speed, which can affect how quickly individuals can learn new information or complete complex tasks. Executive function. Older adults may experience mild impairments in executive functions, such as planning, decision-making, and problem-solving. This can result in difficulties with multitasking or organizing tasks. Cognitive reserve. Individuals with higher levels of education, mental stimulation, and physical activity may develop a cognitive reserve, which helps buffer against the effects of cognitive decline. B. Cognitive disorders. Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Alzheimer's disease. This is the most common form of dementia, characterized by progressive memory loss, confusion, and behavioral changes. It is thought to be caused by the accumulation of amyloid plaques and tau tangles in the brain, which disrupt normal neural functioning. Vascular dementia. This form of dementia is caused by reduced blood flow to the brain due to stroke or other vascular problems. It may result in sudden or stepwise cognitive decline. Parkinson's disease dementia. Parkinson's disease often leads to motor symptoms such as tremors and stiffness, but it can also affect cognition, leading to dementia in later stages. Mild cognitive impairment, MCI. MCI is an intermediate stage between normal age-related memory loss and more serious conditions like Alzheimer's disease. Individuals with MCI experience noticeable memory problems, but are still able to function independently. See strategies for maintaining cognitive health. While cognitive decline is a natural part of aging, there are several strategies that can help preserve cognitive function. Cognitive training. Engaging in mentally stimulating activities such as puzzles, reading, or learning new skills can help maintain cognitive abilities. Physical exercise. Physical activity, especially aerobic exercise, has been shown to improve brain health and may help delay or reduce the onset of cognitive decline. Social engagement. Maintaining social connections can stimulate cognitive functioning and prevent social isolation, which can contribute to cognitive decline. Healthy diet. Diets rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and vitamins such as B12 and folate are associated with better cognitive function. 3. Mental health and emotional challenges in aging. In addition to physical and cognitive changes, older adults may face emotional challenges that can affect their overall mental health. These include depression, anxiety, social isolation, and grief. Depression in older adults. Depression is one of the most common mental health conditions affecting older adults. It often goes undiagnosed because it can be mistaken for the normal sadness that accompanies aging, or because older adults may not seek help due to stigma or a lack of awareness about mental health. Symptoms of depression in older adults may include persistent sadness, loss of interest in activities, changes in sleep and appetite, and feelings of hopelessness or worthlessness. Depression in older adults is often linked to health problems, loss of independence, or the death of loved ones. Anxiety and stress. Anxiety can also increase in older adulthood, often related to concerns about health, financial security, and loss of loved ones. Anxiety disorders can manifest as excessive worry, restlessness, or physical symptoms, such as heart palpitations or dizziness. Stress management is crucial in older adulthood, as chronic stress can exacerbate health issues like hypertension and contribute to mental health disorders. See social isolation and loneliness. Social isolation is a significant risk factor for mental health issues in late adulthood. It can be caused by factors such as the death of a spouse, reduced mobility, or living alone. Loneliness can lead to increased risk for depression, cognitive decline, and physical health problems. Encouraging social support networks and maintaining social connections is key to combating isolation. Grief and loss. The experience of grief due to the loss of a spouse, friends, or family members is common in late adulthood. Older adults may experience prolonged or complicated grief, particularly if they have already faced significant life changes, such as health problems or retirement. Coping strategies and interventions. Therapy. Psychotherapy, particularly cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, can help older adults manage symptoms of depression, anxiety, and stress by addressing negative thought patterns and teaching coping skills. Medication. Antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications can be helpful, but should be carefully monitored due to potential side effects in older adults. Support groups. Social support is vital, and support groups for older adults can help them process grief and foster emotional well-being. Conclusion. In conclusion, aging presents a range of challenges, including physical decline, cognitive changes, and mental health concerns. However, it is important to emphasize that not all aging individuals experience significant decline, and many factors including lifestyle choices, social connections, and psychological resilience can help mitigate these challenges. Promoting healthy aging involves addressing both the physical and emotional needs of older adults, while also creating environments that foster social interaction, mental stimulation, and overall well-being. In our next class, we will explore the role of caregivers in supporting older adults, and the importance of caregiving in maintaining the health and dignity of aging individuals. End of Class 16.